Hello friends and adventurers, and welcome back to Sally Cat Plays Exile 2, Crystal Souls. Last time we stumbled into a surprisingly large secret lair of hostile sliths. But we dealt with all of their leaders, and eventually made our way back out. So now we are somewhat beat up, and have a small pile of loot to deal with, but Silvar and Fort Dovno are a somewhat long march away through rather dangerous territory. However, I'm pretty sure that we are reasonably close to Fort Dranlon. Yep, here it is. A guard peers through a crack between two of the barriers and demands your names. You give them, and holes are opened in the barriers to let you through. Fort Dranlon is a grim place, battered vanguard in a long series of wars. The walls show signs of having been blasted, patched, and rebuilt many times. The passage ahead leads into the core of the fort. Arrow slits face into the passage, and lines of ominous glyphs stretch across the floor. So yes, Fort Dranlon is a place where the walls are more barrier than brick. Odd to see a special dot right here. The walls are a formidable sight, blackened, stained, and studded with vicious-looking spikes. As if that weren't enough, there are glowing glyphs at regular intervals, promising fiery death to those who try to climb the walls. And that is the same message. Same message. Okay, Jeff, really, how many times do you have to put the same message on here? It's like you don't expect people to wander the entire perimeter of the fort to explore everything or something. Hi? Oh, this is an assassin. He can fire poison darts at you. He's not very tough, though. So yes, Fort Dranlon. Long embattled, but doing rather well at holding its own against all sorts of enemies. This solidly built blonde woman can't seem to stop moving. She moves from barrier to barrier and fortification, looking for something to repair or augment. I'm Wendy. I'm a mage here. Just working the barriers. Needs doing. Walls take time to repair, and Empire mages hit us with fireballs all the time. They're much worse than the sliths. That's who we fought before the Empire came down here. Well, that's what Fort Dranlon fought before the Empire came. I wasn't here. I was with the scimitar. She smiles proudly. Underground warriors against the Empire, back when their agents among us were covert. We fight with the army now, mostly doing stealthy stuff. But when one of us is needed somewhere, we go. She claps you on the shoulder. We're all in this together. And of course must talk to generic guards. There is a soldier here. You speak with the soldier for a while. Neither of you learns anything interesting. Alrighty then. And this is not the same mage. There is an aging, thin mage here. He's directing energy into a magical barrier blocking a hole in the wall. As you approach, he finishes up the section he was working on and turns to you. Postlethwaite. He scratches his neck. Oh, defending the fort. I'm a refugee, you see, but I wanted to do useful work. From Kotra. It was destroyed. I taught magic there. Yes, I still do sometimes. There's a quick spell you can buy from me, if you're interested. Always. I think we already have these. Yep, have that. But does Scorn have both of these? Have that, and yeah, okay. I noticed last episode that Scorn doesn't actually have all of the low-level priest spells. Anyway... I don't want to be here, but I can still help. Okay, so you are a tiny bit of flavor text and a couple of low-level spells. This cracked sign says, Office of Mairwen, Commander of Fort Dranlon. Mairwen, you got a new look since we last saw you. A small, beautiful woman with long, curly brown hair is sitting behind the desk. She wears simple velvet robes and bears the staff of a wizard. She nods to you and smiles blazingly. I'm Commander Mairwen. Pronounced Mairwen. Her smile falls a few notches. I run this fort. It's pretty bleak. The Empire's been hammering us non-stop for months. The barrier didn't help things, and adventurers rarely come here anymore. Her smile disappears entirely. The Vanitai barrier, remember? It was us and Kotra versus 3 full Empire garrisons and the tower, and we still endured. It just appeared, almost overnight, upriver to the north a few months ago. It's run by a mage named Eldoran, and launches nasty, nasty raids. It's an important place, though. If you could hit it hard, it'd really stick it to the Empire. Sounds like a mission to me. But not one that we're going to do immediately. Used to be, there were always adventurers coming through here, doing missions for us. Great help. Now I rarely get anyone to do missions. Plus, I can't bribe them as easily. Oh no, does that mean? I'm not allowed to teach Dispel Barrier to people anymore. I can only offer gold and a good word to the government for those that do missions. Aww, where can I get Dispel Barrier? This mission is a dangerous one indeed. To the north of here is an Empire tower, filled with mages, led by an archmage named Eldoran. We need him dead, and have been trying to find a small band to infiltrate his tower and slay him. Told you it sounded like a mission. We'll put a pin in that one. We still haven't quite finished clearing out the Eastern Gallery, after all. There is a young woman with long blonde hair sitting at the table. She clearly hasn't slept in days, and her face, which seems naturally made for smiling, is creased with sorrow and worry. I'm Nance. Oh hey, it's Nance! Her voice is dull and lifeless. She struggles to be polite. I fled Kotra when it was destroyed and came here. Now I wait and stay out of trouble. I have no skills that are of use here. I cook and sharpen weapons, and wait for the war to end, however it does. Okay, well, turns out we met someone named Elspeth, who asked us to look out for you. She looks at you warily, and asks you why you said that. You tell her, and a look of profound relief crosses her face. If you see Elspeth again, say Labrys to her. It's a code word we made when the war started. And thank you. Okay, Labrys, that is another reference that I was not well read enough to get when I was young and first played this game. Basically, it's a feminist and or lesbian symbol. They're lesbians, Harold. You find a ladder leading up to the second floor of this tower. You climb up to take a peek. There's a decent view, but not much interesting. You climb back down. I'm pretty sure that would be an entire room that could be explored in the Avernum remakes. Hello. You find a tiny, cramped office nestled in between the barracks and fort walls. About as well defended as you can get, isn't it? A neat-looking, ferret-faced man hunches behind a desk. He looks you up and down. I'm O'Rourke. I'm an Exile Agent, out here on the front. Well, I'm supposed to be doing covert work and such, but stepping outside this fort is a sure way to invite quick death. Unfortunate, there is a serious matter that needs taking up with the giants. Giants? There's giants around here? The Empire is no more fond of the giants than us, and has driven them into the caverns to the north. I have a quest regarding them, with rich reward if you can complete it. Do tell. Giants we've questioned have said that they have 3 icons, very ancient, made of a strange grey stone. They are owned by giants living to the north. We'd like to get them, to examine them and break giant morale. Bring them to me and be rewarded. By the way this guy was almost hidden and tucked away there, I expected him to be a little more cowardly. Heavy brass plaque reads Quartermaster. The counter is being polished by a middle-aged, heavy-set man with short black hair and a very neat mustache. He shakes your hands. I'm George. I'm the quartermaster. I'm the quartermaster here, such as it is. Plus I run the commissary. He indicates the counter. There are some supplies there. For what few adventurers we get passing through. You can buy stuff if you want. We also have rations. This is all we got, and we wouldn't have that but for the cash. Empire supply cache. They got 'em all around here. Fresh supplies, teleported from the surface. We don't get much of it, but we can make do. We don't get many supplies, but enough. I keep track of them. So what manner of supplies do you have available for sale? Torches, lockpicks, and basic plain arrows. No thank you. Oh, I can't sell you my items. I was hoping I could. Another tower that does not actually exist in-game. This small room has been set up as guest chambers. Take advantage of it. Don't mind if I do. You spend a long, restful night on a bed surprisingly free of fleas, ticks, and other vermin. Always good. This plaque reads, Temple. This small temple shows signs of being visited often. The kneeling pads are worn with constant use by the beleaguered soldiers of the fort. There is a striking woman praying at the altar. Her long dark hair contrasts sharply with her snowy white robes. She stands to welcome you. I am Caitlyn. It takes a single look to tell she is very tired. I was just completing a very long series of prayers, but my regular work is spellcasting. For peace for those who have died, on both sides, and for the Sliths. She looks sad. Poor creatures. First, they were devastated when they lost the war against us. Now the Empire hunts them for sport. They are an old, dignified race. They deserve better. Except for the ones that we just exterminated, right? Right. I help maintain the barrier sometimes, but that isn't important. What is important is that I can heal you if you wish it. Well, that is a bit redundant after I just had a good rest there. Alas, we cannot buy any spells, we can only buy healing. And of course, a generic storeroom. So Fort Dranlon is quite small and doesn't offer us a whole lot at the moment. But it was still nice to check in, collect a few more quests, and replenish our health and spell points. And there has got to be something in there. And I probably need the boat to access it. Suddenly, several humans appear, surrounding you. You pull your weapons, but one of them steps forward unarmed, saying, "Wait, we're exiles." You hold your blow, and the woman who approached says, "We're in hiding, but we know you. We've heard of you. Come to camp with us. We have things to tell you." Cautiously, you follow them to their cunningly hidden camp, and find 20 of them. They're not refugees, however. They're fighters, well-armed and skilled in stealth. Upon arrival, the woman who greeted you straps on several long knives. She says, "I am Caitlyn of the Scimitar." You've heard of the Scimitar, a formerly underground group fighting the Empire, who now work for the Exile Army doing stealthy and vicious missions. "We've heard of you, visitors to the Vanatai, and we know you travel. We are looking for several Empire supply caches in this area, hidden and trapped, and we've been given rewards to give to those who help us destroy them. If you find and destroy any, return and let us know. You agree. And join us in a meal, so we may hear of your adventures." You agree to this, too. And, after a friendly meal and a long talk, you depart. You greet Caitlyn's band and trade news and food with them. None of you have had any luck finding more supply caches. After a talk and a rest, you depart. So that's yet another thing to look out for around here, as we work on filling in the edges of my map. This feels suspicious. You find a supply cache. In addition to plenty of food, there's a thick pile of Vanatai razor discs, strung on a long rope. Very odd. And another assassin who has spawned in behind us. Fortunately for me, the assassins were all lousy shots, and I only got poisoned because the enemy mage cast the poison spell on me. Also, I got a Wand of Vorb. What does that do? I have the vague feeling it does something unpleasant. And I'm taking a moment to show the battle here because Telemaine has somehow spawned right over a water tile. Okay. Oh. Upon using the Wand of Vorb, you don't feel very well. Telemaine takes 250 damage. Yeah, don't use the Wand of Vorb. I didn't think anyone was likely to hit Telemaine, but I didn't want to take my chances. More little twisty corridors full of nothing. here's a passage back into an area we've already been to. Yes, we can return to Formalo and its environs if we want. And also Fort Draco. Is there anything in here? At the end of the peninsula, concealed among a huge jumble of slime-covered rocks, you find a tunnel leading into the ground. Its walls and floor are covered with a slippery, slightly acidic goo. It's not a problem, though. Sure, you say that now. You find several weapons and suits of armor, all pitted and rendered worthless by the acid in the slime that covers everything. You also find several large, slithering creatures. Oh no, slugs. I do not like these cave slugs. Well, that was unpleasant. And I don't even get anything for my slimy troubles. Nyeh. At least I am unlikely to be snuck up on around here. Yeah, I haven't explored the middle of this area much, have I? Let's see if there's anything else of interest here before we head to Fort Dovno. You come across an exile patrol being attacked by a band of Empire soldiers. They won't last long unless you help them. It just gave me the message of meeting an exile patrol. You find the recent remains of a particularly messy fight. Okay. You meet an exile patrol. They warn you that bands of vampire raiders are all over the place. We noticed. You thank them for the warning and depart. And the road to Formalo has a significant gap where the barrier used to be. This area was home to a large farming settlement of exiles, and was so up till recently. Scorch marks running along the shattered walls gave quiet but clear testimony to what happened. There's nothing here now but rubble and graves. You turn away, shuddering anew at what the Empire is doing to your homeland, city by city and hut by hut. As it happens, I am playing this in early March of 2022, and some of it is hitting a little bit harder given the Russian invasion of Ukraine that is happening currently. I won't comment much on that, except to say imperialist invaders can go screw themselves. Until next time, everyone, do something good today.